To making the sleeve pattern. For this you use your sleeve calculating sheet, and again you take from your body measurement sheets which you did initially, and remember you took the full sleeve length, the half sleeve, 3/4, bicep, the cuff and the armhole. You transfer these over here. The only difference is that you add on the calculation of the width of the sleeve and the sleeve cap. Once you've calculated those, you have all your final measurements here for your sleeve pattern. Is 8 inches, and you label that point C. Now from point C this way, you need to measure the cap, the sleeve cap. You take your sleeve cap measurement, and in this case it's in this pattern it's 3.25. You do a little dot and you mark it point E. You draw a straight line. Now the next step, you take exactly 1 inch from the folding line from A downwards towards C, and you label that point F. Now you draw a straight line, well, a diagonal line from point F to point E, and then you take half of this, so this is 8, and you take half, which is 4, and you label that point G. Then you do exactly the same. You measure half of point F to G, which is 2 inches, and you label it point I. And exactly the same from point G to E, measure half, 2 inches, and you label that point H on the inside. Now from point G outwards towards this way, you measure exactly half an inch. From point H, you measure only 3/4 of an inch outwards, and from point I you measure again 3/4 of an inch inwards, and you label these points, so that's G, you label these points 1, 2 and 3. Now from point B downwards, you take the cuff measurement and you measure it in a straight line. So this measurement is, you take half of the cuff measurement, this is 11, so here it would be 11, 5.5, and you label that point K. Then you take point E to K and you draw a straight line. Now we use our French curve and we draw a line, a smooth curve from point F to E. That's the back arm. And now from point F to, I realise I've made a mistake, but that's okay. It should have been a 1/4 inch outwards, and this line should have been a 1/4 inch inwards. So please correct that. I can go over that again. So from point F I to number 1, you take your curve like this and you draw a line like this, and then you take the curve, turn it around, and you go from point I, H to E, and there you have your front and your back curve. And I'll just rub this out now and draw it in different colours so you can see. So now I'll just quickly recap. Point I should have been 3/4 of a 0.25 inch outwards. Point G, 1 to G, should have been 0.5 inches outwards, and point 2 to H should have been 0.25 inwards. So make sure that's correct. Then you join point F, I, 1, H to E, and this is your inner sleeve, the pink line. And we did it this way. Remember, we used the French curve this way first from FH1, then we turned it around and we drew another curve from 1HE. And then for the back sleeve, you just do a smooth curve from point F, G to E, and that's a straight line. And again, you do the same thing. You take 1 inch from here as your seam allowance, and you just mark all the way down for the seam allowance line. Now you can rub out the pencil lines so that it's not confusing when you're cutting, but you can maybe use a different color pencil so that you can rub it out and it's clear. And as you can see, that we have the fitting line on the inside and the other lines, the seam allowance on the end. Now you can use the same pattern to mark your half sleeve. For this pattern, the half sleeve is 11 inches. So we will exactly from here measure 11 inches, and you just draw a straight line down. So that's half. And for 3/4 inch, for this pattern it's 17. We just draw another line, we mark it and draw a straight line, and that's your 3/4 sleeve. So here you can see you don't need to cut it out. Whenever you want to make half sleeve, 3/4 or full sleeve, here's your pattern. And then you just cut along this line, and then I will show you how to cut out. You just cut out this bit, and then I'll show you how to cut the inner sleeve. Now, as you can see, the sleeve's been cut out. Now you lift very carefully the top sheet and you just cut along the pink line, which is your inner sleeve, or the front. This will come on the front side of your shirt. Remember when we made our patterns for the shirt, the front armhole was deeper. And there you go. This is your front and this is your back. And again, you can label this front and back. And your sleeve pattern is complete.